prior to after, obviously. But now that I understand how difficult he is to deal with, there's no one else like him. You can't prepare for him, even at
his age,
even at an elder version of him.
Shit, it was pretty cool to see. And honestly, even with the majority draw, it's a win for Manny, because damn, if he can do that off a 3-year layoff at 46, that's pretty telling for one, where the sport of boxing is when your world champ can't beat 46-year-old politician Manny Pacquiao.
Yes, Manny, you can't come out of retirement because this guy is so bad. Like, that fired him up a little bit, and then he goes in the ring and he does nothing. He goes in the ring and, like, I thought it was an embarrassing performance from a 30-year-old champion.
Fighters are genuinely intimidated by Manny Pacquiao's comeback, and it's easy to see. Why at 46 he still moves like Hayes in his prime, Sean Porter, who witnessed Pacquiao's training and his performance against Mario Barrios, confidently stated, "Pacquiao is still him despite his age. His trademarks, speed, intensity, and footwork remain razor-sharp. Opponents today fear that the iconic version of Manny is in diminished shed, still capable of dominating elite fighters."
What do you think about the overall matchup? Everything, man. I watched him train like last week or the week before, and amazing to see him still move and bounce and do all the same things that he was doing in camp years ago when I was with him. So he's still locked in. He's still him, Crazy, but he is. You know what they say, man. The last thing to go is that power.
Chris Algier, who once faced Pacquiao during both their prime years, offers a unique and respected viewpoint. According to Algieri, there's something timeless about Manny Pacquiao. While most fighters slow down with age, Manny remains an unsolved riddle. For even younger opponents, Algieri calls him one of the most difficult fighters to prepare. For unpredictable, fast, explosive, and relentless, he insists that age doesn't apply to Manny. What Pacquiao brings into the ring can't be duplicated in a training camp. For Algieri, this isn't just a comeback. It's a real threat to anyone who faces him.
Prior to after, obviously. But now that I understand how difficult he is to deal with, there's no one else like him. You can't prepare for him, even at
his age,
even at an elder version of him.
In the bout against Mario Barrios, Pacquiao shocked fans by showcasing much of the signature style that made him a legend. At 46, many expected a faded version of the fighter they once knew. Instead, they witnessed sharp footwork, blistering combinations, and intelligent angles. Even in rounds he didn't win on the scorecards, Pacquiao was highly competitive. His stamina, timing, and ring IQ were still present. While Barrios had the youth advantage, he often found himself reacting to Manny, not dictating the pace. Clearly, Pacquiao wasn't just showing up, was still performing at a world-class level.
I think Manny's always been good at that. And my son really pointed it out perfectly. He was still good at it. He was still good at it. I think he was stealing some rounds at the end. Whether he deserved them or he didn't deserve them, whatever. They were close rounds. He might have stole them on the judges' cards. What we shouldn't forget is he's a special guy, and he put a special performance. I never saw calves on the legs of somebody that big. I mean, it's incredible. I thought early on he stumbled a little bit. I thought his legs were stumbling a little bit, like you might see in a 46-year-old, a little bit. But at the end, they got the act together. He used them pretty good. He used them pretty damn good. What I think he also did was maybe a little bit of, I think the word illusion is too powerful, but I'd say a little misleading, where he threw those real fast punches like my son said. They weren't quality punches like they used to be, where there was real impact and real power at the end of them. They were more like just quick punches. And they weren't all being impactful. They weren't all landing clean. Some did, but they weren't all landing clean. And they definitely weren't landing with real power. They really weren't.
Social media personality and fighter Salt Poppy also weighed in, offering a bold perspective on a potential rematch between Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao. He noted that Manny is still in top condition, active, focused, and mentally sharpened like Mayweather, who's been away from high-level competition for years. Salt Poppy argued that if the two legends fought again, the outcome would be far different than in 2015. Manny's current rhythm, activity level, and hunger, he said, would overwhelm Floyd's now aging reflexes. While Mayweather has stayed busy with exhibitions, it's Pacquiao who's returned. Two real competition, and that makes him the bigger threat today.
Have you spoken to Manny recently? I know you're friends with him.
No, I haven't spoken to him, no.
What would you want to see him do next?
Fight Floyd Mayweather or Gervonta Tank.
You think he beats Tank, near prime Tank Davis?
We'll see. Styles make fights, so we just don't know.
What about Mayweather versus Pacquiao too?
Yeah, that'll be a good fight. Manny is still active. So.
Okay.
Pacquiao's performance against Barrios reminded the world why he's considered a generational talent every time Barrios attempted to exchange. Pacquiao responded with flurries of lightning-quick punches. His energy output and movement stood in stark contrast to Barrios' more hesitant approach. What surprised critics was how young Manny's legs still looked constantly, creating angles, closing distance, and opening opportunities. Many fans questioned the official outcome, arguing that Manny's aggression and sheer volume clearly outshined Barrios' scattered counterpunching. It wasn't just a good effort. Pacquiao looked like he still belongs among the best.
What happened? Barrios was so tentative in this fight. He was essentially standing there for some of the exchanges. Manny Pacquiao came out and did what Manny Pacquiao does. By the way, credit to Manny. At 46, he still had some feet. He was moving, dancing on Mario Barrios. He was throwing combination punches going forward on Mario Barrios. And when he wasn't doing that, he was countering Mario Barrios, who looked like a stick in the mud. He looked like he couldn't even get out of first gear because Manny was hitting with combinations. Were they hurting super bad? Maybe not. Some of them definitely were. Had a mouse under the eye of Mario Barrios, but others were just flurries, and they were keeping Barrios at bay. And when Barrios was throwing one, Pacquiao was throwing three. When Barrios would throw out his jab, Manny would counter with his lead right hand, stepping on the inside plane, doing all the old Manny shit. It was pretty cool to see. And honestly, even with the majority draw, it's a win for Manny because damn, if he can do that off a 3-year layoff at 46, that's pretty telling for one, where the sport of boxing is when your world champ can't beat 46-year-old politician Manny Pacquiao, but two, just how great he was. 8 division world champion, started his career at 106, I think, comes up to 147. What are we talking about?
Still, skeptics have questioned Pacquiao's motives for returning to the ring with a legendary legacy, 8 world titles and different weight classes and global recognition. They argue he has nothing left to prove. Many wonder if financial reasons are driving his comeback. After all, the risks at 46 are far greater, and the physical cost of boxing only escalates with time. For some, stepping into the ring again makes sense only if there's a massive payday on the table.
Manny Pacquiao crazy for coming back and fighting is because they don't understand what's going on in Manny Pacquiao's life. When a fighter is 46 years old, he doesn't just come back to fight a top fighter because he just wants to fight a top fighter. When he's going through that, that's what's brought him to that place in the first place. And that is having what we call bandwidth extension. He's totally scattered his brain and lost so much money over the course of time. And the same thing that happens when you get a paycheck and you start spending, and because you get shiny object syndrome. You want to get the new watch. You want to get the new gear. You want to eat at the restaurant. You want to go spend money. That's shiny object syndrome. And you can't get it under control the same way that Manny Pacquiao did. He couldn't get things under control. So therein lies the situation where all of that money that he's made, hundreds of millions of dollars, just burnt. And now you got to fight. But if you really stop focusing on the symptom and start concentrating on the root of this thing, and the root of this thing is bandwidth, shiny object syndrome, trying to be so relevant in so many different scenarios. You want to train, you want to run this other business, you want to do this, you got this great idea. And it all boils down to the term that I use all the time, and that's compensatory control, laser focus. Get one idea, follow through with that idea. You got to have a plan in order to do it. And that's how you get to from here to here. That's when you're 46, you don't have to fight anymore. And that is my message today. Just understand why you're scattered. Understand why you can't get anything going all the way through. You can never finish that thought process and execute the plan, and therefore you continue to find yourself in a situation where you're desperate. You're trying to find a way to get back to where you were, which is even. But if you stay locked in and concentrate on the compensatory control factor of your life, which is doing everything that you think of every single day the exact same way, and I take 1 minute and go to that playlist.
However, Pacquiao has repeatedly dismissed claims that money is behind his return over the years. He's proven to be more than just a fighter. As a humanitarian, from building hospitals to supporting disaster relief in the Philippines, Manny has shown time and again that he's generous with his fortune. He insists that he fights for his people, not for profit. His comeback, he says, is fueled by passion, legacy, and a desire to inspire. According to him, age is meaningless if the heart remains strong. He's not just proving something to other Shaws, proving it to himself. And with the Barrios fight now in the past, speculation about his next opponent is heating up.
I became a world champion and I realized that this is the time that I can help my family. Before that, we don't have food to eat in one day. We just drink a lot of water to survive. And I remember one time, my young brother is 5 years old back then, and he was crying like in the afternoon, 1:30 in the afternoon. He's crying because he's hungry. He's asking for food. We don't eat breakfast. We don't eat lunch. He don't understand what is. When you're telling him no money, we have no money to buy food, and he's crying like, "Mom, I'm hungry." Like he's crying, and I look to my mom and look at his eyes, and the tear flow in his eyes, and then I feel so sad and like. And of course, I'm crying also because hungry. We drink water just to survive. That's our past, so that's why I always told them that, Manny Pacquiao is Manny Pacquiao, but I don't have the right to become arrogant, to become boastful. I want to stay humble because we've been there. We came from nothing.
Rolando "Rolly" Romero has emerged as a potential next opponent. Leaked training footage suggests Romero is already preparing for the possibility. His camp appears excited by the idea, and Romero himself has said it would be an honor to share the ring with a legend like Pacquiao. Meanwhile, names like Gervonta Davis are being floated too, though that fight seems unlikely due to timing and promotional hurdles. Still, the boxing world is watching closely to see what Pacquiao's next move will be.
No. Tira los golpes largos, men. Porque si da paso ya te pega mucho. No, quédate atrás, men. No te tiras. Ahí, quédate ahí parado ahí donde tú estabas.
Boxing Doctor News: Manny Pacquiao's next potential opponent is Rolly Romero, the WBA welterweight champ. Romero is under the same promotion, has the belt, and can sell a fight. He's eager to face Pacquiao, saying, "A Hall of Famer on my resume. Who wouldn't want that?" After Pacquiao's draw with Barrios, his advisor sees Romero as the favorite for Manny's next bout. Romero has knockout power and isn't afraid to bring the heat. Is this the explosive matchup fans have been waiting for?
The possibility of a rematch with Floyd Mayweather continues to dominate fan discussions. Some believe Floyd would win again, but they may be ignoring the bigger picture. Mayweather is older than Pacquiao and has been out of serious competition. For years, his exhibitions have offered minimal danger and maximum reward. In 2015, Floyd faced a version of Manny who was recovering from a shoulder injury and lacked his usual momentum. If they fought again, Mayweather would be facing a sharp-focused Pacquiao with renewed hunger and nothing to lose. It's a matchup Floyd might not want to risk.
And we will see what transpires, but all these people out here saying that the fight was fixed, a lot of these people were not fans of Manny Pacquiao. When that whole Floyd Mayweather, Manny Pacquiao situation was going on with the steroids allegation, the needles, and the back and forth between the Pac-Tars, as they called them back in the day, and the Mayweather fans, a lot of those fans still hold grudges towards Manny Pacquiao. I guarantee if that was Mayweather that was fighting Mario Barrios coming into that fight after a long layoff, all the people would have said Mayweather had a chance, Mayweather gonna win, become champion once again. Mayweather's levels above Mario Barrios, even at that age. And Mayweather's actually older than Pacquiao. But those same people wasn't giving Pacquiao no chance to defeat an average fighter in Mario Barrios. And that's what I base my pick on, that Mario Barrios is average. Some people that's Tank Davis fans, you know, they want to blow up Mario Barrios into something that he really ain't. Because really before the Tank fight, we talking about Mario Barrios right now. Before the Tank fight, he took on a guy by the name of Ahmad Daliev. He lost that fight. And he took a beating from that fight. And Mario Barrios really ain't never been the same from that fight. Go back and watch that fight. That was the fight before the Tank fight. Now, a lot of people say, well, he was looking good in the Tank fight. He was winning early in the Tank fight. That was the fact of Tank going up in weight, fighting a much bigger guy on fight night. Look at the difference in size. Not only we ain't just looking at the height, but he was just a much bigger guy.
Respected boxing analysts have voiced their support for Pacquiao's performance against Barrios, arguing he did more than enough to win, pushed the pace, initiated exchanges, and kept the action going. In contrast, Barrios often looked passive, circling the ring or standing idle, landing little offense. Frame-by-frame breakdowns revealed several rounds given to Barrios despite his inactivity. Pacquiao's ring generalship output and control over the fight told a different story from the official scorecards. For many, his comeback wasn't just impressive, it was likely deserving of victory.
With the draw?
No.
Because, like...
Weird rounds, hard to score.
Pacquiao did better than I thought he did. And that's like, we get into that weird territory in boxing where you start grading on a curve. That's not how boxing works. And I was like, oh, Pacquiao's doing better. He's probably winning. Oh, he won. But no, he probably didn't. And a draw is he's probably lucky to get a draw.
Yeah, as I was watching it and scoring it, and I was in the live chat with people, and there was just so many rabid Pacquiao fans that were like, every time he did anything, first of all, anytime he did anything in the arena, the place went absolutely bonkers, like it was going to tear down. Honestly, he probably fought 50 to 60 seconds a round. He did not do much. He didn't need to, because Barrios didn't step on the gas pedal at all, at any point. He was so listless and just kind of like ho-humming through it. So Pacquiao was able to steal moments, and he did a really good job of stealing the end of rounds and making an exclamation point. And also, we saw flashes of the Manny of old when he would have that little like the flourishing signature in the end of something. He'd make that little movement, bang, he'd pop that left hand, he'd fly out, boom, 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 boom. He'd make those little moves, he'd do the fancy feet, and you would be like, but really nothing happened. He didn't land a lot of punches. Like, it wasn't like anything really effective. But it got everybody emotional. It got everybody, and whereas Barrios was the exact opposite. Everything he did was so workmanlike. He has zero charisma. He has no sell on anything he does. He just lacked passion. I know he has Tech Warrior, but where was the passion? Where was the exchanging? Where was the biting down on my mouthpiece and going for it? So there was a lot of opportunities based on how both guys fought for Manny to actually steal rounds, because Mario wasn't selling it. Pacquiao was. The crowd was behind him. But yes, when you do it, you're looking at it almost like you're almost comparing Pacquiao to Pacquiao. You're being like, oh, he fought really good for a 46-year-old. He didn't fight really good for a 12-round main event, champion. He fought really good for a 46-year-old Pacquiao. So you get that idea in your head, like, oh man, he's doing so good. But is he really, or are you just voting for the guy that you like better?
Like, nostalgia's a hell of a, and we were all high on Saturday night.